just via Roku on your smart TV. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Good afternoon, great people. How are you? This is your host, Jania Butler, with the New American Perspective here on Millennium News 24. How are you? How are you? Did you miss me in the last week? Because so much stuff has been going on. We've got to get right to it, people. What is happening in America? Where do you want to start? Where do you want to go? Tell me where you want to start. Where should we begin to peel the banana here? Because we're not going for the banana in the tailpipe. Okay, so let's start. The obvious. The Kamala Harris 60-minute interview. Did you see it? What were your thoughts? I'm going to start like this. I have a Glock. So now Gangster VP Harris is sitting up on the 60 Minutes talking about she totes a Glock. A Glock? Excuse me? Is that another reference to the black community trying to be cool and trying to be down? I got my Glock. I have a Glock. I don't know about this. But her 60-minute interview, did you watch it? I mean, I would like to say, I'll say good stuff when good stuff should be said. I'll say it. But the 60-minute interview was a little shaky there, Gangster VP. Because now, look, homeboy asked her, are you sorry? Was it wrong for not going to the border? Right? So she said, well, listen, I need to talk about solutions. We don't need to impede the problem, push the problems on us. I need to talk about solutions. He said, but look, I'm going to ask you the question. He was keeping his job for another 10 years because he didn't let her divert. Now, he wasn't on the team because if he was on the team, he would have let her out. But he didn't let her divert. He kept pressing her and saying, answer the question, Gangster Harris. Was it wrong? Was it a mistake that you allowed this border to stay open? There's no answer to that, people. And the reason why this matters to us, of course, America has always been a country that, the Statue of Liberty, take our sick, take our weak. This is what America stands on, an immigrant nation. But how could we have open borders when anybody could rush the border? So if I just broke out of jail in Venezuela, hence the Venezuelan gangs, if I just broke out of jail in Venezuela and I could go hide in America and nobody is coming to get me unless I myself get into trouble, I'm headed that way. So now what is this administration? What has this administration really been up to if they've been allowing all these gang people? Aren't they supposed to be protecting us, people? Aren't they supposed to be thinking about us? What are they really thinking about? They're thinking about votes. And they always say that we need people to work jobs that people in America just don't do. And these people will do it. So we need the manpower. Okay, so then why can't we vet the people correctly for coming over to the border? Why have you let this go? Because now it's ravaged the black community. And shout out to Gotham City God, because he said something that I thought was so profound. And he's talking about how the Venezuelan gangs are going in hoods right now, like in Chicago, going in hoods and sticking up buildings and taking over territory. And he said Bring that to New York and it's not going to happen. So then one of my mentors, Shirley Scott, the Shirley Scott from Harlem, USA, said to me, Jania, we are in trouble no matter what. Because if Trump comes in and starts sweeping the migrants after they swam through swamps, water, everything, got bit by snakes, just done the impossible to get here in America, you think that they're going to allow them to send them back? No, they're going to go. They're not going to go without a fight. Didn't think about that part. So now we have people that have invaded America. It's almost like we could call this a terrorist attack. And Gangsta VP, I got a Glock. Miss, I got a Glock. And I will shoot you if you come through my door. Miss, that is not the type of conversation that we need to hear from you, young lady. We do not need to hear that you got a Glock because now you want to act like you with Second Amendment rights. And she said, please, I'm with law enforcement. That was a line. Get this, people. That was a line to the police. I've been in law enforcement for years. Don't get me twisted. That's why I got my hat on, because I don't want you to get me twisted today. She is twisted a little. New York twisted, right? So Gangsta VP Harris, she's on a mission. I got a Glock. He asked her about the inflation. And she said, well, this was because of Trump. Trump and the inflation, and we had to get it under control. And now it's 25% up, but we ain't got nothing to do with that. What did you have something to do with? This is what we want to know. Somebody has got to say, okay, this is what was done, right? We let the people into the border. Now, here's where I get mad at the Black community for blindly supporting this. So they let all these people in. Do you really think that was an accident? Tell me, do you think it was an accident? Or are you just being empathetic? I'm talking about the community. Are you being empathetic to the fact that these people are fleeing their countries and want to come to America for the American dream that we haven't got yet? What is it? So you're just going to give her your vote. We're going to vote for the so-called Black woman blindly, not ask her nothing. And see, now we're in a place where we are less than 30 days. What kind of deal can we make if they now got everybody to say, no, we vote for her no matter what? No matter if we get a deal, then she says, oh, I'll support a reparations bill. Y'all better hold her to that. Okay? Because she's not, if you listen to her sound bites, I do believe that she is just not good at public speaking to that degree. Because if you listen to all her little crazy sound bites and all her little laughs and stuff like that, and the stuff that she says, the off stuff that she says, you kind of would start squinting at her like, what is going on? But that is even worse. So now what happens if Gangster Harris gets into the office, the Oval Office? The stock market is going to crash because people do not trust her economic guidelines, her blueprint. She rolled out this plan. Does she believe it? I don't know. She rolled out the plan. She's talking on the 60 Minutes and she's talking about this and she's talking about that. Oh yeah, and in 60 Minutes and this is what we're going to do by the end. It was no good. She said nothing. They asked her what she's going to do to bring down inflation. She said nothing. So now I'm asking everybody, I'm challenging you. Tell me something. And I know that most people are voting for Harris because they don't like Trump, because they don't like him. But do you believe that he's going to fight for America? Do you believe that he's going to protect America? Do you believe that he's going to try to make some money right? Oh, no, just for the rich. That doesn't make any sense, people. It doesn't make any sense. He can't make the money right for the rich and then drag out the poor. See, now here's the problem. The Dems, they're not trying to make the money right. Now, I consider myself going into a top bracket of money in the United States. So when you say tax the rich, they want to tax the rich 70%. Do you know that? Now, imagine this. Imagine this. All the hard work that I did to put myself in a $1 billion position, then because I live in America, I'm supposed to pay 70% so they could do what they want with it? 70% of my income because I make a lot of money? Huh? 70%. That's their proposal, people. You're not looking at the fine lines. You're not looking at the blueprint. You're going for the sound bites. And we can't go for the sound bites. The honeymoon is over. It's been 2.5 months. And I'm telling you, I want you to tell me what you found out. Did you get to know her better? Did you get to know anything about her? Stacey Johnson. So look, I saw Stacey Johnson. So she produced Stacey Johnson. She's been out there, Stacey Johnson. It wasn't after I had said anything. It was before. But her name is Stacey Johnson Baptiste. So Stacey Johnson had to pull that old Johnson name out there. Why couldn't she just be Stacey Baptiste? Because she was using Johnson. And so I listened to what was going on, and they said that Stacey Johnson said this. Stacey Johnson Baptiste. Stacey Johnson. She said that she and Kamala had grown up together and their mothers became friends and they were lifelong friends. We're talking about this gap. You know, Gangster Harris's father is alive, correct? You do know that, right? So we should be tapping into him. But for some reason, nobody said anything about him. Now, Trump tried to go on your boy Willie Brown and said they was on a flight together and said that, you know, she worked her way up to the top. That was your boy Willie Brown. Because Kamala had a relationship with the mayor of Oakland back way when, before she got her start. And we talked about that before. Can a woman in America get to where she's supposed to go without having to, her way to the top? I didn't want to say the word. Having to have sex for her way to the top. Can that happen? We don't know, right? Because, so now Kamala is desperate, people. She's losing the momentum she had. She's grasping for straws. Your boy Magic Johnson came out. Now, when you bring Magic out, it's Magic. So she was all hype. Magic, stood behind her. Magic come out and talk to black men. Shout out to Zip with the Drip, because he said, how Magic gonna come out and talk to black men when his son is 7 foot in a skirt? That's what Zip with the Drip said. He said, let's get to that. So I ain't gonna say nothing else about that. So Magic Johnson popped out. He said his piece to black men again, because he's not changing. Black men, we need to know how you feel, because you hold a significant play in this whole election. Okay, black men, you hold a really significant piece. And that is that you can bring us 25 to 30% of that vote. See, we don't need The Republicans do not need the full black vote. And that's what black people don't understand. They've only got 5 to 10%. 10% the last time that President Trump ran, and it was good. That's good for the black vote. So now what we're talking about is this black vote and the black men and where we're going to lie. So can they change your mind, black men? I think not. Because what black men like about Trump is that he's a gangster. I said that back in 2018. He's a gangster. And we love the gangster story. We love the Scarface. We love the paid in full. We love everything that comes with it. But now when it's real in the field, we still need Trump to make a real deal and put a real deal on the table. And I'm pressing the Republicans every single day about it. What do we get for this vote? And it has to be a tangible exchange, because all we're getting with the black women is black women out there. And another friend, Mr. Las Vegas, said something very clear. This is classism, sis. So this is not even about black or white. It's what side that you're going to get left on if you sleep right now. This is a crucial election. We got 20 days and our world is going to change as we know it. 20 days, something like that, 20 something, whatever. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to a break right quick, because I know I just beat you in the head, Kamala-isms. We're going to go to a break right quick. And when we come back here on Millennium News 24, we're going to talk about the rest of the stuff that's going on in the world. And you know we have to keep Kamala VP Gangster Harris. I have a Glock. Quick little break for you. Down now. Shout out to Phantom of the Beat, Gina Tarantino. As always, shout out to them and our super dope beat. Okay, so we come back. Now, let's jump to New York real quick, because we got a lot to talk about. Mayor Adams, and I don't know what should we call this crew? The Little Rascals? You like that one? Because they was doing too much. Okay? Somebody gave them the green light to go get this money. And see, you're making us look horrible, people. I can't believe that you all have allowed this to happen. Because, listen, if you're not guilty, then we wouldn't be resigning, would we? We wouldn't be embezzling, would we? This administration is horrible. Horrible. And Mayor Adams, we can't stick by you through what you saying that they're just going after you for this. Because what are they just going after your people? And for the same reasons, what's going on? Because his top aide stepped down, and she then got married to somebody else in the indictment, so they got spousal so they get the spousal what's that? The spousal where you can't you don't have to testify against your spouse. So they done got married. This is how deep this is getting here in New York. They done got married and then resigned and said, now we're not going to say nothing about each other. So they're covering their butts. Come on, Mayor Adams. I was there when you said, look, we got all this chocolate. Were we supposed to know that we were supposed to rob New York City at that point? What were we supposed to be thinking at that point, Mayor Adams? Because I thought that you understood that you had to be clean as a bean to get this done. One thing that I'll give to President Barack Obama was he kept his nose clean. No scandals, no weird stuff. They didn't come at him because you know what? He said, I'm going to straighten up and fly right because I know what's coming my way. So what were you thinking and what are your people thinking? So who's supposed to be the next mayor? So we got Cuomo, our former governor, Cuomo. Chris Cuomo, he's over there worried about his brother, right? Chris Cuomo, who got fired from CNN, has his own network now, has his own station. He's doing well. He's in his basement. He's chilling, still talking his stuff, and he's got on regular clothes now. So we're talking about his brother who resigned as governor for sexual abuse allegations. So now he's thinking about sneaking in the back door and saying, oh, maybe I can't be the governor again, but maybe I'll run for New York City mayor. They'll go for us down there. They said, we don't know about that. We didn't really finish persecuting you for putting the COVID patients in the nursing home where a lot of people passed away. A lot of people's loved ones passed away as a result of that move. So now, do we want that person over New York City? I like the idea, but I don't think so. And we need somebody to come in and clean it up. Then we got Curtis Sewell, the people's mayor. He's been out on the street. He's been doing his thing, but people are not really sold on him, I think, because of his jive talk. I love the jive talk, though, Curtis, okay? I think that we can get in these streets together. And something came up. Should my guy, John Catsimatidis, run for mayor? That's immediate yes with me. Yes, because he has the heart, he has the understanding, he understands business, he understands the economy, he's a smart thinker, common sense. For those of you who haven't got his book, you should definitely get his book, a New York Times bestseller, Common Sense from a Billionaire, okay? How far do you want to go? Common Sense Lessons from a Billionaire. Check that book out because he tells it plain and simple. It's an easy read and he's right on point. That's my guy. So I'm going for John Catsimatidis early on. I'm going to call him after the show and say, Mr. Katz, let's go. Okay? So that's my pick for mayor, definitely. Now, we've got Fonnie Willis out in Georgia, right? If you didn't see the YSL trial, so Fonnie is doing two big things. She's trying to take Trump out. We haven't heard much about what's going on with the January 6th election case RICO case in Georgia. I haven't heard much because she was messing with her the attorney that she hired, paid him the most money. Okay, she was getting it done, wasn't she? She paid him the most money, and then they was looking at the files every night at her house. So I don't know what's happening with that, but they got caught up again, right? They got caught up, and when they got caught up, they had said that Fonnie's daughter got pulled over and I believe was arrested, and Fonnie pulled up to the scene with the attorney in question. Okay, and so for them to say that their relationship is over, they called him again, and I'm sure that was a setup, going after the daughter and then calling the mom and then knowing that her and the guy are still together. I mean, you can't stop who you love, Okay? It's just what it is. This is life, right? So Fonnie down in Georgia, she also has a YSL case. That's with the rappers Young Thug, rest in peace, Rich Homie Quan, and the rich gang that they were talking about in this YSL gang. So the new judge in the case, right? So remember it was a black man that was the judge, and now there's a new judge in the case. That's like, what is happening in here? She almost called for a mistrial. She almost Young Thug's lawyer had asked for a mistrial, and so she almost went for the mistrial, but she said no, this is not a mistrial. I'm gonna go ahead and give them an opportunity to get their stuff together. But she's like, it seems like you are making this stuff up as we go, miss. Can you get your act together? So she is saying that something is funny going on. I'm gonna go ahead and say that trial eventually is going to be a mistrial, because Fonnie Willis just asked the judge to reconsider the exclusion of evidence. I'm not sure what it was, but it had to be big evidence in this trial that's going to put Young Thug up. Now, Young Thug has, been a willing participant in the courtroom, and he sat there day and out. He fell asleep a couple times, but for the most part, he's doing a good job of sitting there and not having any faces going on. I've got a Glock. I just want you to know, and if you come to my door, I'm going to shoot you. That's what the president is saying. And remember, presidents have immunity. So while she's saying that she's going to come to your door, and if you come to her door, she's going to shoot you. And she's very serious. She can laugh, and then she can be very serious. I understand her. Right? So don't forget, Liz Cheney, Representative Liz Cheney, Dick Cheney's daughter, endorsed her in, I believe, Michigan the other day. And so now we see this that would never happen in our time, right? So Dick Cheney's daughter, stark Republican Liz Cheney, and she said, I would have never thought that this would happen, but I'm going to go ahead and vote for Kamala. So there's a bunch of Republicans that are jumping on board with Kamala, but they are jumping on board with the ship that already has moved on out, because this is the normal with them. Okay, the normal with them is, listen, politics as usual. We can't have Donald Trump in here doing stuff different. We can't have him talking to people and negotiating with Putin and negotiating with Kim Jong-un. We can't have that because they've got all of these other things involved, right? So now Israel, last week, Israel got bombed by Iran, 281 missiles on. It was disrespectful because it was on the anniversary of last year's bombing. So now they're making this a real war. So something is going to happen. We've got too much going on. Okay? So now Liz Cheney, she says, oh, well, I'm down with the Kamala crew. But how many people is that really going to change? The numbers are still neck and neck. And I reserve the right to say it's going to be the Black and the minority communities. And that's hip hop. The Black and the minority communities to choose who the president is going to be. But they do not want us to participate. They're not spending money in the Black community with the Democrats, and they're not spending money in the Black community with the Republicans. So they are pretty much telling us, sit this one out. And how do we feel about that? We want to be Democrats, die Democrats, but it's irrational. So I understand the Republican mindset of saying, I don't even want them to vote. because they don't even know what they're voting for. They don't even want them to know what they're voting about. Then the Democrats, I understand them too, where they will not tell you the truth, because if they tell you the truth, you'll vote in the other direction. So they continue to pander and make sure that they don't make any, promises that will get up and have an Obama-like surge at the polls. And that's what I'm looking for. Now, in New York, people, we've got Proposition 1. Now, I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're green. I don't care if you're working party. I don't care if you're in the rent is too damn high party. Guess what? You're voting no on Proposition 1. You know why? Because Proposition 1 is for transgender kids, mainly boys who have turned to girls, playing in sports. Why is this on the table, people? Nobody is trying to disrespect young kids who believe that they should be another gender. Nobody's trying to disrespect that. But now you're disrespecting the kids that are naturally going out for sports. And now you think that you're not going to have a bunch of little kids who want to be the best at something and going to change their gender because they want to go beat a girl and they can know. So all the girls' sports, they're going to be transgenders playing against our young kids, giving our young kids low self-esteem because they can't beat the boy that just showed up. And I say the boy, and I mean the genes. I mean, we grew up knowing that boys are stronger than girls. So now tell me, doctor, what kind of hormones, what kind of pills, what kind of shots do the kids need to take that strength off of them and make them a full girl? Now, you've seen in the Olympics, they did it. And the man knocked the woman out, broke her nose and did all of this other stuff. They said, oh, no, I don't think that we can do it. Y'all going to have to get y'all own sports. But here in New York, we're going to have to vote no. Proposition 1. Vote no on Proposition 1. Let's not just focus on the presidential election, because all of the Congress people in your area are running for office too. And see, another Jedi mind trick. Do you know that? Do you know that there's another race going on in your community other than the president? The Congress, that's why they're telling you, vote Kamala Harris and all the way down Democrats. That's why Representative Crockett is out here saying, oh, Amber Rose shouldn't be using her platform. Who are you to tell somebody what they could do in America? How you going to tell somebody that they're not using their platform effectively because they're talking about who they want to vote for? That is our right as citizens of the United States. Stop trying to take our rights away, because that's what's happening, people. They are trying to take our rights away. Sooner or later, they're going to say, you know what? Since all of you black and brown folks want to vote Democrat, then you stay over there. And y'all going to get an electoral vote just like the state does, because we already know how you're going to vote. Because that's what you're doing. When you're telling people that, oh, they shouldn't use their platform, celebrities should stay out of this. I bet celebrities that have an opportunity more than the media, more than the people that are on the media, to tell you lies and tell you what they think and tell you about the taxes that they're going through. Oh, no, they shouldn't say nothing because they're celebrity. Where's that in the Constitution? Where are you getting this information from, sir, ma'am, indifferent? So Representative Crockett, like I said, she went out, the Democrats got their hound dogs out on the street. Every celebrity that they can think about, they out there. But our celebrities shouldn't use their platform in such a deranged way. What you're telling us to do, all those people want to do is get elected again, people. That's all they want to do. And if Kamala Harris gets elected and your dumb butt decides to vote down Democrat, instead of asking every person that you vote for, why should you vote for them? Then we're doomed. Anyway, even if Trump is not in office, we're doomed. We're doomed of this woman talking and about to be some puppet for we don't even know who. We don't even know who was running Joe Biden. So now the woman that sat back for 4 years and said a word. We just talked about, we ain't hear from her, we ain't do this, we ain't do that. Now she's the greatest thing going since Pimpin' and Hoeing? What? No. Stop it. Wake up. Stop being shamed for what you know in your heart is right. You got good money under Trump. The gas was $2 under Trump. Okay? The food wasn't tripping 25% more. I can't even go to the store and get $100 worth of food. I got a little bag that I got to pay for the extra dollar, so it's $101 for some juice, some pasta, and some milk. This is America, people. Where are we going with this? We control the country, and we cannot allow a regime that wants to come in, take us over. Oh, we're going to put this person in office. You're going to go for it. You're going to believe us again? Again, we just went through this. This man had Alzheimer's before he started. They knew that he wasn't ready. When Kamala, 6 months before, he knew he wasn't going another 4 years. But that's why they didn't let Kennedy in. And that's why Kennedy now said, you know what? I'm with Trump. I'm going to make America healthy again. So he got his piece. He's going to go ahead and get the Kennedy in the administration of Trump. But I've got to say to the Republican Party, you have to go after the black vote. We're here. Stop being scared to come and get it. I understand you got all these deflections, but we're in there. So just like you going to the bottoms of the earth in the white community to get votes, let's go. And black man, step up and open your mouth, because we cannot allow this to happen. Those black jobs that everybody is making fun of. Oh, a black job is the president. Maybe a black job. Whatever. We got to make sure that we're getting something out of this country and we're not pushed to the side by either party. Because the fact that we're not participating, the fact that they're not spending money on us, the fact that they're ignoring us in the process means that they're up to something and they don't want us to vote. How do you feel? I know the people that want to vote for Trump is too scared to tell somebody that they want to vote for Trump. So they're going in and they're saying, I'm not going to vote. My homeboy CL, Digiwax, he talked the other day. He's screaming at me. They're screaming at me. Jania! He said, neither one of them got a plan for us, Jania. So I'm going green. I'm going to go ahead and go with the Green Party. So your vote, where are you throwing this vote? Republican Party, hear me clear. We want in. But we're not just going to walk in and be silly like them other people over there in that Democratic Party. We want to see the black community thrive. It's only right in America. If any other community giving all this money to Israel, giving all this money to Ukraine, come on, bring it. We're going to do it. So again, we're going to go to a break. You know, I'm all riled up in here. Sorry. You know, I'm getting all hot. I'm all hot and bothered. But we're going to go to a break. And when we come back, we're going to break the rest of it down. I mean, look, we're almost to the end. We don't even need a break right now. As I'm looking, I can finish this off real quick instead of Going to a break. Y'all don't need a break, do you? No, we don't need a break right now. So let me just bring up the rest of this little stuff. We got Piers Morgan. Aha. Let me just break the monotony. I'm a little hot, get a little hot and bothered. I haven't even touched my coffee because I think I'm going to explode. Piers Morgan. I've been on Piers Morgan. Shout out to Piers. I think that he does good journalism. Okay. He brought on Jaguar Wright, Vlad from Vlad TV. He's got a black young lady from London. It seems like she's got one of those accents. And Piers and they were talking about Jay-Z. So Jaguar, she go on there. Jay-Z and Beyonce, they sucking the baby's blood. She didn't say that, but she said a bunch of stuff about Jay-Z and Beyonce. And then she said all of this stuff about Jay-Z and Beyonce. And then Jay-Z and Beyonce sent the Piers Morgan show a cease and desist. So Dame Dash had said a couple weeks ago, how come nobody is not cease and desisting on Jaguar Wright? They're not suing her. So is what she's saying true? Well, they sent out a cease and desist to Piers Morgan, and Piers Morgan got right on that show and said, guess what? Sorry about that, Jay and Bay. I said on the show that they're not there to defend themselves. And I didn't know the girl was going to go off like that and name y'all in some crimes and all this other stuff. I didn't know. So Piers said, we erased it out. We're going to follow the protocol and we're not going to talk about you anymore. So Jag just got shut down on the national level. But I shout out to my boy Choke No Joke. He went up on Piers, I think the other day, and he was like going nuts and going crazy and going nuts. Okay, so he was talking about the Puffy situation. 25 minors, 120 people represented by one lawyer. The lawyer was on there. He made his case for why he's fighting against Puffy, and he said that there's stuff going on, but they're looking for money because they're looking for hotels, banks, and people that were complicit with knowing that they were drugging people in the process. And they're talking about that there was horse tranquilizer and all this other stuff. So I don't know, but Choke comes out and he says his piece. He defended hip hop and, talked about what we already know in the hip hop community. And, so he stood up on that. Shout out to Choke No Joke for that. Then the Paid in Full Foundation. I want to shout out the Paid in Full Foundation and Nas. But I want to shout them out for finally picking up where we have done the Hip Hop Union and the stuff that we have worked on. For finally doing that. Because this is not the first time that legends and pioneers have been honored for their contributions. This is what we've been working on. So when now I see the Paid in Full Foundation picking up where we are, right? Not where we left off, but where we are, and saying now that they want to give financial aid and healthcare to the legends. And before 2009, there were no legends accordingly because we put it in place. Me, Manny Mad Dog, Alizé, CL, and the people. If you know CL from DigiWax, Alizé from Courtside Consulting, Manny Bad Dog from The Collective. We put this together with our heart. And so now I'm glad that people are picking it up, and people like Roxanne Shante, people like Grandmaster Cass, people like Kumo D, people like Rakim, people like Scarface, all people that we've interfaced with are now getting their just due from their peers. Shout out to Nori for giving the people their flowers. But understand that this all came from Reverend Jesse Jackson's platform when we went to him and said we need help for our community. Okay? So shout out to Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. Yesterday, he celebrated a birthday, the 8th of October. And that is a great day. And he got the key to the city from the mayor in Chicago. And I'm sure that that was a festive event. Happy birthday. Salute to you, Reverend Jackson. hardest, strongest man that I've ever met in my life. Beautiful mind person, and that has moved the needle forward, has had the most voters registered in this country. For the history of this country, most voters registered across the board from 1984. So he's been doing the job. And so what I need for you to do is, while he's here, give him his flowers too. Because without him, I don't know if y'all are doing the 50th anniversary of hip hop. Without him, I don't know if you are recognizing living legends. Now you got the Living Legends Foundation, and then you act like we don't exist. And this is hip hop's problem. And you need to fix it, because we don't have time to go through everything that we're going through. The reason why people are tearing Puffy down is because Puffy didn't do everybody right. So now that they see this black man on a pedestal and they get to swing a bat at him, everybody's swinging a bat because they're mad. Hip hop needs to heal itself. Hip hop is in a state of depression. If you talk to the people that put in the work for this culture, they're in a state of depression, and it's got to stop. You don't just give the rappers their flowers. How did they get there? How did they get to the point where they get flowers? Many people, they had to have help them to get to their level of success. And we're going to start celebrating all of that. And that's what we're going to do this year for the 15th anniversary of the Hip Hop Union. So it took you 15 years to recognize what we have already been doing. 15 years. Can't change it, boo. So this is your girl, Lady J, and I want to shout out to Florida. Right now, Florida, my dad is out there. Bobby Boy is out there, okay? Shout out to the water. We're going to pray tonight. We're going to pray until these storms go away, dear Lord. We're going to pray and shout out to Florida that this Category 5 worst storm of all time gets to the land in its Category 1. If you're a believer, stand up, people, because now is the time. Anybody who's got family, friends in the area, tonight is the time for a prayer ritual. We're going in. Shout out to Monica out there. We're going to be with you throughout the night, and we're going to tell them storms to cease. And so this is your host, Jania Butler, on the New American Perspective here on Millennium News 24. Thanks for joining me. I am a citizen, and I'll see you next week. The last thing I wanted to add, though, is that Byron Donalds went on the Breakfast Club and he told Charlemagne, your girl Vice President Harris voted against the border issue. Your girl Angela Rye was up there. What do you mean? What do you mean? She couldn't lie it out. She made the deciding vote on the immigration issue. And that's our show, people. And I think that I just came back to say that they love me here on Millennium News 24.